Welcome to another episode of the Olive Roots podcast. I'm your host, Chosi Ayub. Oh, I saw this video and I was like, I gotta talk about it. This is an early live. Thank you for those that are tuning in now or later. Make sure you're subscribed, like, comment, and contribute. So I want to share this video with you guys. And this is from the 700 Club channel on YouTube. And this was the title. This may be Israel's next biggest threat, and it's not Iran. So, as you know, the Zionists are ready for the next war with Turkey. And as Donald Trump goes to visit Europe and part of that demonic NATO alliance, Turkey is part of NATO. So he's sitting with Erdogan, that I have my questions about whether he's a donme, a crypto tiny hat person or not. But he's with Trump and they're going to trade and do some military trading with, fire jets and whatnot. And of course, Israel and its puppets are not happy. So you have this person in the video here, Robertson Gordon, and he's talking about they want Jerusalem, that Turkey wants Jerusalem. The description for the video, as I said, this may be Israel's next biggest threat, and it's not Iran, it's Turkey. So who is the 700 Club? The 700 Club is the flagship program of the Christian Broadcasting Network, CBN. You will also find inspiring stories of faith, relevant world news from a Christian perspective, and content to help you grow deeper in your love for Jesus. Yeah, Rob, more like your love for Israel. That's what it's about. So who is Robertson Gordon, you might ask? Is this Zionist right here, this Antichrist that puts Israel before Jesus? They always have a similar type of look, don't they? All right, well, let's take a look a little bit about Gordon Robertson. Well, he's not a J. He's an American evangelical Christian, which is close to a J, minister and the president of the Christian Broadcasting Network, CBN. Despite not being a J, he is a dedicated Christian Zionist who has spent much of his life supporting Israel and the tiny hat community. His ministry actively provides humanitarian aid as if they need more money to Holocaust survivors that never die. So he provides humanitarian aid to Holocaust survivors, widows, and victims of terror in Israel. I didn't know that the Holocaust happened in Israel, but that's what they're doing. So they're not really helping spread the gospel. They're pushing propaganda. Holocaust survivors. Here are a few key factors about his connection to Judaism and Israel. Evangelical beliefs. He holds conservative Christian evangelical beliefs, but deeply studies Hebrew roots and biblical history, because these idiots think that modern Talmudic Yiddish is ancient Hebrew. He has produced documentaries on the rebirth of the state of Israel, such as The Hope. Wowee! All right, generational support. His father, the late Pat Robertson, laid a foundation of friendship with the J community. It's all about the J's in Israel, which Gordon has continued. He was groomed by his dad, who's a stupid goy. Or maybe he was a crypto J. Gordon frequently collaborates with J leaders and leads CBN Israel. Oh, there is one in Israel now, a branch of his ministry dedicated to blessing the J people, the Antichrists, the homosexuals in Tel Aviv. Connection to the land. He first visited Israel in 1969 and holds a strong spiritual attachment to the country. Oh. Probably went to that wall, often traveling there to report on biblical history, more like Israeli history, and current events. Okay, so that's a little bit about this demon. Now let's take a look at the different websites that exist. So we can start with this. This is the CBN website. Of course, all the way to the top. New CBN film available now. J Patriots of the American Revolution. It's all about the J's, guys. There's nothing about Jesus. Nothing. Spread Christ love worldwide, except for the Palestinian people and the Lebanese. Got it. And, all the family of the ministries. So these are all the ministries that are owned by God's chosen people. Top stories, anything but Palestinian suffering. And, using the Bible and where they're located, spreading like cancer. And of course, they're not happy about the US strikes intensify against Iran as Trump draws closer to Israel's adversaries, Syria and Turkey. And of course,
Iran is not backing.
they have a video here talking about it. And, they're just, complaining. And then you have this other demon, Chris Mitchell. They always look weird, don't they? All right, let's see. Let's take a look at more websites. So this is International Fellowship of Christians and Jays, the oxymoron of Judeo-Christian. Updates from Israel. So this is him with an antichrist. Her name is Yael Eckstein, or Eckstein, however you say these demons' names. Because it's fun to pose next to an antichrist that want to implement the seven Noahide laws and behead you. And you're just a stupid goy that doesn't know anything about the Talmud. So let's see. Happy anniversary to the fellowship. It's a wonderful milestone, 40 years. And look how far we've come from very small beginnings. It's such a wonderful God story. He always likes planting seeds and then watching them grow into big trees, and it's great to see it. No, these are the trees that Jesus will cut down from the roots or uproot. Yael Eckstein is carrying on her family's legacy as a modern-day Esther. Oh, man. For such a time as this, may the bridge her father built become a superhighway. No, may it collapse to the pits of hell. So that's another website. Hope for Israel. Please, we need more money. We can't survive without you, America. A simple gift, a critical difference. Oh, spread the gospel. Yeah, right. You're not spreading no gospel, buddy. You're just sending money to bless the Antichrist. I will bless those who bless you, and all the people on the earth will be blessed through you. You is Jesus Christ. It's not this demonic entity. They keep using that scripture, man. Look at these people. Look at Mike Huckabee, who is in Israel first. I strongly believe that supporting Israel is one of the most meaningful things a believer can do. This is why I'm partnering with Israel's most impactful relief organization, the International Fellowship of Christians and the Antichrists. Fantastic. Of course, be a hero of the Holy Land. Oy vey, pledge to pray to who? To Satan? No, thank you. Oh, this IDF got hurt by Hamas for unaliving children, etc., etc. Now let's take a look at more stuff. Here's the Jerusalem Post. Gordon Robertson. Survival of the J people is a miracle. You are a light to the nations. A light? The light of Lucifer, said Robertson. Shine on and be as bright as you can be. Here's the stupid goy with the Star of Remphan flag behind him. 7th Annual J-Post Conference in New York. So this was in 2019, November. In a pre-recorded video addressed to the Jerusalem Post diplomatic conference in Jerusalem, Gordon Robertson, CEO of the Christian Broadcasting Network, explained the origins of his love for the land of Israel and its people. What an idiot. He recalled the impact of his first trip to Israel at the age of 11 in 1969, 2 years after the Six-Day War. The jubilation at the time was incredible. I find it hard to put into words. Robertson wanted his children to share in his experiences, and when each of them turned 12, he brought them to Israel to be baptized in Jordan River. He brought them to Israel, but it was Jordan River. I didn't know the Jordan River was in Israel. Maybe they're going to change its name to the Israel River. And pray at the Shekhinah, the Western Wall, from being baptized to being cursed. They didn't stand a chance. My love for Israel is deep, spiritual, and generational. He says Robertson declared that for evangelical Christians, the survival of the J people is a miracle. The return to the land and its language is a fulfillment of prophecy that the whole world can see. No, the fulfillment of prophecy is God revealing mystery Babylon and the Antichrist. Those people that return to the land have never stepped foot, or their ancestors have stepped foot in that land. They come from Eastern Europe and such. You are a light to the nations. Shine on and be bright as you can be. They love that star, don't they? What else do we have? We also have the J voice, because they have a specific voice. We are saddened by the passing of Marion Gordon Pat Robertson. So that's when his dad passed. Before October 7. On June 8th, 2023, the body of Messiah lost the body of Messiah. That's a weird way to write things. The body of Messiah lost a spiritual giant with the passing of Marion Gordon Pat Robertson. Pat was one of the most influential leaders of our generation. He was also a great friend of Israel and the J people, a legacy that continues through his son and current CEO of CBN, Gordon Robertson. Body of Christ, they put body of Messiah because they got to cater to the J's. Pat was also a good friend to J Voice and was instrumental in the start of our television ministry back in the early 1980s. Been working on it for a long, long time, guys. Been going on for a long, long time. Until then, J Voice had been solely a radio ministry. Pat approached J Voice founder Luis Kaplan. And you learn about these people. And invited him to air free of charge. Yeah, right, free of charge. On his newly formed CBN network. Luis reluctantly agreed. Reluctantly. Since he was not really a television personality. Yeah, that's the reason, right? And we've been on Christian television ever since. Pat will be greatly missed. He's probably rotting in hell right now because he sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver for Israel. But we know he is now rejoicing with the Lord and reunited with his beloved wife, Dede. Our love and prayers go out to their family, Rabbi Jonathan Bernice. So that's why he said body of Messiah. Free printable greeting card. Download a beautiful, yeah. So that's that. So let's see. There's CBN Israel. Stand with Israel. Your support matters. Now it's time to stand in solidarity with Israel and the J people. Let us unite together against her enemies, which is everybody, who seek to harm her people, devastate her land, and erase her very existence. Give now. J Patriots. They got a video about it's all about the J Patriots, not the American Christian Patriots, the J Patriots. I don't even want to call them American. Israel Relief, Israel News, Israel Films, as they hump the wall. Israel Institutes, all about Israel. Devotional, where's Jesus? Parshat Pinchas. Look, this is the Yiddish Talmudic Hebrew. Don't ever use that. That has nothing to do with the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible. Ah, Hezbollah, terror, Iran. Oh, look at God's chosen people giving each other money and food. Yeah, right. Anyways, let's see, there's more. So we got firmisrael.org, Fellowship of Israel Related Ministries. Look at these God's chosen people. This kid, where's his tiny hat? Transform lives in Israel through gospel. Yeah, right. Centered ministries. So why they're not preaching the gospel to the Muslims? It has nothing to do with Jesus. That's why. Your trusted partner for gospel impact in Israel. Give us money, $40. Women finding freedom. Transforming lives across Israel, bringing Jays and Arab. It's funny when they say Jays and Arab, it's like saying Christians and Hispanics. Or Buddhist and Asians. Bro, this is a religion. This is an ethnic background. If they want to say J, they need to say Muslims and Christians. Across Israel, local believers are serving their communities through practical care, opportunity, and the love of Yeshua. Yeshua is not Jesus. Yeshua is Metatron, is from the Kabbalah. It's the feminine aspect of God. Bringing dignity, hope, and transformation where it's needed most. Your gift helps bring practical care, opportunity, and the love of Yeshua to communicate across Israel. Give me, give me, give me. Of course, it's all about that. Add Israel to your inbox. Everything is about Jesus. Oh, I'm surprised they said Jesus here. Support Israel while keeping Jesus at the center of it. No, it's not about supporting Israel. It's about supporting people and blessing them with the gospel of Jesus Christ. These people, man, they're demons. They're antichrist. They're deceivers. They're the synagogue of Satan. Look, they have the star, and this is from the Kabbalah, the magic. One place to bless many. Get connected to trusted and effective ministries all over Israel. Know your impact. Based in Jerusalem. FIRM is a global family of believers empowering local ministries to transform lives in Israel with the love of Yeshua, which is not Jesus, it's Metatron. We serve a network of 80 plus ministries and congregations in Israel that share a passion for reaching people with the gospel. Yeah, the gospel of war, the false gospel, that is, of Yeshua, not Jesus Christ. The good news went around the world, and now it's time to bring it back to where it all belongs. Yeah, it belongs in Israel with the star of Remphan on their flag. Why Israel? Why does Israel matter? And what does it have to do with your faith? Why Israel? Why? And look at God's chosen people looking over my country, Palestine. You want to tell me these people are indigenous to the land? Man, go back to America where you came from. Understand the Bible through the lens of Israel, not understanding the Bible through the lens of Christ. I'm telling you, they replaced Jesus with Israel. That's what these people did. All right, there's and then one more on there. Let's see. Local partners. Let's see. The local partners. Ahavat Yeshua, which is not Jesus. Growing, Hebrew speaking, Yiddish, Talmudic Yiddish. That's what they say when they say Hebrew. Holy Spirit empower community in Jerusalem. They're speaking in tongues, but it's actually Yiddish, Talmudic Hebrew. Fantastic. Amud Ha'esh. Ha'esh means fire. Establishing and supporting Ethiopian Jays in Israel. What does that have to do with Jesus Christ? And did they forget that when Ethiopians were brought to that land, because apparently Ethiopians come from Palestine, because their ancestors came from there too. They gave women these pills and needles and injections that they would not allow them to have kids because they're racist. Yeah. What else we have? Anchor of hope. Restoring hope to believers in Israel. Believers in Israel. through godly counsel. What does that even mean? The Last Stop, the story of Aviv ministry in Tel Aviv. It's not working. There's a lot of homosexuals there. Barnaba Israel. What is this? Brings hope and healing to vulnerable Bedouins. So anybody but the Palestinians. Ba'ed Chaim. Who's this kid? Helping Israeli women and men choose life. Oh, you know, like 95% of Israelis love abortion. It's like it's a J value for abortion. But I guess they're offering them alternatives to abortion. That's not going to work. They love abortion. Sacrificing children to their god. Baal, Molech. And here we go. When you see this, you know this is Antichrist. Beit Asaf. Building a vibrant community of disciples in Netanya. Messianic congregation. Messianic Jays are Antichrist. They are following Yeshua, not Jesus Christ, and they don't believe that Jesus is God. They just believe he's the Mashiach, he's the Messiah. So they're not Christians, and they don't want to have the word Christ in their name. The disciples were not Messianic Jews, they were Christians. Beit Chalel Israel, making disciples in the heart of Israel. See, Yeshua, then they put Jesus. Blasphemy. Beit Emmanuel, Messianic congregation. Here we go with Messianic again. Kaspari Center. All these places, guys, were Palestinian. They took them colonized, fully furnished. Equipping people with practical resources for life and ministry. J Roots. Look, see? J Roots. Then we have CBN Israel. Well, let's take a look at CBN Israel, because that's crazy. So CBN now is in Israel, founded in 2012. They got a video. Then you can visit it now. Give, contact. And they want you to believe that this man is a pastor. He has a specific kind of look. Danny Cope, that last name too. That's the Christian pastor? Yeah. No, I'm not buying it. That's a wolf in sheep clothes, or maybe a wolf in wolf clothes. But yeah, this is a little bit about the websites. Now will be a good time to grab your popcorn. Thank you all for popping in. I know it's a random early live, but I was like, you know what? I would like to talk about this, and maybe some people will join and watch. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Before we begin, I hope you have your popcorn. Let's watch this video and commentate. Remember, this is from the 700 Club, and it has the founder, son, Robertson Gordon. All right, here we go.
President Trump is in Turkey today for a NATO summit and a meeting with President Erdogan. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning the president against making any deals with Turkey's leader.
What does that have to do with Christianity or Jesus Christ? That's my first question. Nothing. It's politics. Zionism, that's what it is, politics.
In neighboring Syria, 2 bombs went off near the Damascus hotel where French President Emmanuel Macron is staying during his visit to the country. CBN's Julie Stahl reports.
I wonder who did the bombs. You guys know Mossad. Come on now.
2 explosions rocked Damascus Tuesday as French President Emmanuel Macron,
Which is a homosexual, by the way.
met with his Syrian counterpart
Which is a head chopper.
in a landmark visit. Reports say the blasts were caused by explosive devices near the Four Seasons Hotel where Macron is staying. His office reports he is safe and the visit is continuing.
So I guess they wanted to take out Macron.
Earlier, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps fired missiles at 2 commercial vessels.
I wonder why. They just woke up one day during the funeral of the supreme leader, and they're like, yeah, let's just go blow up some ships. No, we know why.
Near the Strait of Hormuz, despite U.S.-Iranian talks.
Iranian talks.
The attack comes during the 6-day funeral of Iran's former supreme leader. Despite the large turnout, polls say only a minority of Iranians support the regime.
Reports say that. Let's see who are the reports coming from.
Iran is a nation of about 90 million. About 80% of them hate this regime. And
the reports are coming from Malkowski. That's where the reports are coming, guys. Oh my God.
Iranians support the regime.
Iran is a nation of about 90 million. About 80% of them hate this regime and would like to see it gone. But you still have, quite a few million, a minority that they can bring to the streets.
President Trump is in Ankara today for a 2-day summit of NATO leaders. He's seeking more support from NATO countries who didn't want to allow the U.S. forces to use their bases for attacks on Iran.
Yeah, because why would you let them attack Iran when Iran is not a threat to Europe? Well, now you attack Iran from Europe, then Iran will be a threat to Europe.
He's also planning to meet with Turkey's President Erdogan on the sidelines of the conference. In an interview with Fox News Monday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned the president against making deals with Erdogan.
Turkey is a great country, but it's governed by a man who calls openly for the annihilation of Israel. He occupies half of Cyprus, a NATO country.
Remember, Malkowski is close to Cyprus and Greece, and they have an alliance now because they're getting ready for the next war, guys. All that the state of Israel knows is war.
He's threatening Greece and other NATO countries, and he talks openly about conquering Jerusalem.
Erdogan wants to conquer Jerusalem. They keep going back in time, the Ottoman Empire and all. Man, these people are just demonic.
He also said Turkey is infected by the Muslim Brotherhood that hates America and finances terror groups like
Hamas. Now Turkey is funding Hamas. First it was Iran, then it was Qatar. We know that Israel is supporting Hamas. So now the Muslim Brotherhood, it was in Egypt. I guess now it's in Turkey. Okay.
I don't think they should be given F-35s or the engines for their fighter jets, because that'll upset the power balance in the Middle East, which is ultimately guaranteed by Israeli air superiority and also by, I think, by America's posture in the Middle East.
Power balances. They want to be the only ones who has the power.
Following the NATO summit, Netanyahu is expected to meet with Trump at the White House, possibly as early as next week.
Oh, wow. The Antichrist is coming to America again. Fantastic.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is here with us now, live in the studio. So, Chris, what's the importance of Netanyahu? It seems like he's on a campaign to influence President Trump. What's the goal?
Well, I think he's been talking to Fox News and others and telling him, and probably a message not just to the American people, but to President Trump. And I think he wants to warn them about Turkey.
Fox News. They all work together, guys. Look at this guy. Warn about Turkey, guys. They're barely done with Iran, the Iran situation. They're ready for the next one. This is unbelievable, bro. Right in front of our own eyes, man. The whole world is just noticing, man. And if you notice, you're an anti-Semite.
As Julie said in her report, it occupies a NATO ally, Cyprus. It threatens Greece, and it has neo-Ottoman ambitions. It's not just a nationalist thing. It seems like Erdogan has ambitions beyond its own borders. It wants to reestablish what had been the Ottoman Empire.
So let's just do Greater Israel. So that's fine. but not Greater Turkey. Okay, got it.
And that was the caliphate that was destroyed or abolished by a man named Kemal Ataturk back in 1924.
Ataturk, tiny hat community. Young Turks, tiny hat community. Who's done the Armenian genocide, tiny hat community. The more you know.
And Erdogan seems to have this ambition to reestablish this caliphate and have influence well beyond the borders of Turkey.
The caliphate. Have you guys been to Turkey? You think Turkey is a religious Muslim country? No. I've been to Turkey. Most women don't cover their hair. There's bars you can drink. It's kind of secular. There's Muslims there, but it's kind of secular. I don't support Turkey. Like, I don't care. Like, the Turks have done a lot of damage in Palestine. And Hagia Sophia was taken, which should have never been done, to the Orthodox Christian and created a feud and a bad blood. I think it should be given back to the Orthodox and make peace. But yeah, the Turks are different, man. They're not Middle Easterns, whatever that means. They're not Arabs, whatever that means. So I don't know. But we'll see. You know, I mean, Erdogan might be Donme, so a crypto J. I have an episode about the Donme.
Well, in the breakup of the Ottoman Empire following World War I, there was sort of a division, and primarily between France and Britain.
Exactly.
And so France got Syria and Lebanon, and Britain got Palestine
and Iraq.
Oh, look, they said Palestine. Fantastic.
Jordan, Iraq, Saudi Arabia. I mean, they got a lot.
Right.
And
I'm glad they know that it was Palestine. I thought there was no Palestine. They said they got Palestine. Fantastic. They're telling you that it was not Israel.
You look at the map today. Is Erdogan serious that he wants to have control over all of that?
Well, he certainly wants to have influence over that, but he's talking openly of conquering Jerusalem. His interior ministry is saying he's looking forward to the day when he will be able to be the governor of Jerusalem. So,
man, these people just make up stuff, bro. Next time they're going to say the president of Japan said something. And he became Muslim. He's an Islamist. The Japanese Islamists are going to take over Jerusalem and they're going to make it Islamist Japanese. They're going to paint everything red with the blood of the Jays.
The rhetoric is pretty ambitious. And as we said, reported yesterday, the foreign minister says Israel is a burden on humanity. And it's really just this rhetoric is calling for a genocide, annihilation of the Jewish state. And
who's actually committing a genocide, though? The J state is committing a genocide in Gaza, in the West Bank, and in South Lebanon.
It's trying to demonize, delegitimize Israel.
No. Israel is demonizing everybody else who's not a J, calling us Amalek and Goyim. You see how everything is backwards with these people? And these people call themselves followers of Christ. Christians, real Christians stand for Israel. It's like saying real chickens stand for KFC. Idiots.
Whether or not they want to continue, militarily or geographically throughout the region, they certainly have, you could say, a vassal or maybe a puppet state in Syria. Al-Shara, the new president of Syria, really is beholden to Erdogan and the Turkish military for being able to take over that from Bashar Assad a couple of years ago. And so,
by the help of Israel and America,
they have this influence they want to expand. They want to expand influence in Libya.
No. The ones who want to expand and have been expanding is the Antichrist state of Israel. That's who wants to advance. I mean, they have the patch, the Greater Israel. Like, what is this idiot talking about? Is he getting paid by Israel to say all this? Probably.
And so they have regional ambitions.
Anything to read into the bombing for President Macron? He's visiting Syria, which is a landmark visit,
Exactly.
given the history.
Yeah.
Is that bombing symbolic? Is that they really trying to take out the French president?
Yes, the Mossad is trying to take out everybody. That's who did the bombing in Syria.
What is that?
It seems symbolic right now. I mean, it wasn't.
It's fulfillment of prophecies, guys.
Didn't seem to threaten the French president and his visit, but probably a message, perhaps, to the French president and to al-Shura. What group, I don't know, is claiming responsibility just yet, but certainly a symbolic message for this visit.
Which group claiming responsibility? Really? The group has a tiny hat.
Is there a thread of the Muslim Brotherhood through all of this?
Muslim Brotherhood was a thing of the past in Egypt. Doesn't even exist anymore. Now they say it's moved to Turkey. Let's see what this idiot's going to say.
Totally.
Where we're seeing both Hamas, Hezbollah, the government of Turkey seems to have that same thread. Greece just shut down a bunch of mosques that apparently were linked back into the Muslim Brotherhood.
What? What does Hamas have to do with the Muslim Brotherhood? Hamas is a resistance group. And nothing Muslim Brotherhood about it. If Gaza was 90% Christian, Hamas would be a Christian resistance group. Has nothing to do with religion. It's resistance. They just happen to be Muslim. Christians would do the same. The first resistance group in Palestine was Christian. George Habash was Christian. The more you know.
So how deep is that influence?
It's very deep in Turkey.
You know, it's deep in the tunnels of New York.
I think it was after 2013, Mohammed Morsi, he was the head of the Muslim Brotherhood. They had taken over Egypt for maybe 18 months or so.
2013. You see how long ago they're still talking about 2013 in Egypt. What does Turkey have to do with that?
Al-Sisi took over. Well, it seems like the center of power of the...
No, they put a Sisi in. Sisi, that's what I call him. The one who runs Egypt.
The Muslim Brotherhood shifted to Turkey then.
I shifted to Turkey, just magically, in a tunnel. Next time, Malaysia is going to say something like, Muslim Brotherhood is in Malaysia. Oh, they're in Saudi Arabia now. Oh, they went through the tunnel. They're in Gaza.
And Erdogan has been hosting Hamas leaders, exporting this idea of the Muslim Brotherhood. And we know that it's not only a threat to Israel, but some of these Sunni Muslim states, they have evicted the Muslim Brotherhood as well, maybe UAE, Saudi Arabia, because
the Zionist puppets.
Because the Muslim Brotherhood wants to topple those governments. They consider them too West-leaning and not fervent enough in Islam. And it's also important to note the Muslim Brotherhood really has their own agenda against the United States. They really do have a global agenda. They want to infiltrate Western countries, especially the U.S., which they see as the impediment to a global caliphate they would love to establish.
And there's barely 2% of Muslims in America. But the Muslim Brotherhood is taking over, guys. They're ambitious, the caliphate of the United States of Islam. Man, what are these people talking about, bro? They always tell you, look there, while Israel is doing everything they're claiming that the Muslims are doing. It's unbelievable.
All right, well, Turkey seems to be on this sort of interesting turning point.
Sure.
Where they're part of NATO, they're considered to be an ally. That was all part of the Cold War. They allowed monitoring bases to see what was going on inside the former Soviet Union. All of that happening. But now with Erdogan, they're planning some kind of influence, a resurgence of the Ottoman Empire.
Bro, these people would love for the U.S. and Israel to start bombing Turkey and unaliving Turkish people and children. They don't have a problem with Israel attacking anybody, and if Israel attacks America again, because it did many times, USS Liberty, September 11, on and on. If it does it again, I bet you these people will stand with Israel against America. That's how these people are far gone. I don't know why they live in the US. They should move to Israel because they're doing all those ministries, right?
Where do you think this is going to land, and how alarmed are you that the president may make a deal with them?
Well, personally, maybe alarmed, but I think a lot of Israelis are alarmed. President Trump said he wanted to be very nice to Erdogan. I was reading an Israeli journalist said, very nice puts chills down the spines of some Israelis. And it seems like
It's all about the Israelis. The ones that committed a genocide and then go to Tel Aviv to have sex with each other because they're homosexuals. It's all about them. They're God's chosen people.
Is shifting, this alliance, and geographically it straddles east and west, and sometimes Turkey has gone west, and sometimes it's gone east. Now it seems with Erdogan, it's certainly turning east, and being perhaps for his
turning east. It's the west versus the east. Oh my God.
Israelis, they think Turkey is now the number one strategic enemy or adversary after Iran.
After Iran, he said it. Oh, because Israel is saying Turkey, so we have to believe the Israelis now. Let's go to war with Turkey. So tomorrow, let's say Egypt, will go to war with Egypt. The day after, Pakistan will go to war with Pakistan, and on and on and on and on, never-ending sorrow, misery, and bloodshed of innocent people. This is what Israel does, and these are the mouthpieces that calls themselves Christians. Not even one mention about Christianity yet, or Jesus Christ, or the gospel, or the church. Nothing. Have you heard anything? Anything about that? It's all about Israel, Israel, and the Israelis. That's what I heard. And Islam is bad. That's all I heard.
Iran is no longer maybe number one. Turkey's really becoming a strategic threat to Israel.
How much is that threat now reinforced if they obtain these advanced fighters?
That would be huge. There's two things. First of all, these engines, $700 million of engines, which would go into the fifth generation of Turkey's stealth fighter, which is called the Khan. That's one thing. The other thing is the F-35s. That would represent a threat to the F-35 technology, because Turkey also has what's called the S-400 air defense system that was bought from Turkey. Now, if you have the
From Russia.
From Russia.
Russia.
So if you have the F-35 and the S-400, it allows Russia to get some of the sensitive technology of the F-35, that stealth technology. So that would represent a threat to Israel's qualitative edge.
It's all about Israel, guys. I'm telling you guys, it's all about a threat to Israel. Everybody is a threat.
As well as the F-35 program itself.
Everybody is Amalek. They must be destroyed.
Well, let's look at Iran for, they fired on a ship in the Strait of Hormuz. The funeral had crowds that were extraordinarily large, in my view. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I'm hearing 80% of the population doesn't want the regime anymore.
From Malkowski, that's who he heard it from. We saw that in the video previously, which doesn't mean anything.
But it looks like the Republican Guard is firmly in control. Yeah. And
I mean, if you take anything out of the funeral, watching the funeral in Iran, look at the small coffin. That tells you enough. A child.
Nothing is going to dislodge that absent American boots on the ground.
Right.
So what's your prediction there? Is this just a pause for them to rearm? Is the economic consequences of the Strait going to govern that conversation more than any of us really like?
I mean, what do you expect when you unalive the leader of a nation? Do you think people want to go to the street and celebrate and clap for you? No, you just made them more mad and they hate you and they wish you death and they can't wait for their hands to come on you and your soldiers. That's why America wouldn't dare send soldiers there, because they do support the government, whether you like it or not. And they're entitled to decide what they want to do in their own nation there. So you're like, why are they mad? You unalive their leader. And this is not 20%, guys, that are supporting the government. Most Iranians support their government. They just hate the sanctions that are put from the US. So most of the protests were against the economy situation. And they don't have the Rothschild Bank, hence why Israel and the US want to destroy Iran. They did that to Libya, Iraq, Vietnam, etc.
What's the future here?
It looks like if the memorandum of understanding holds, and if they continue this 60-day pause, maybe another 60-day pause.
60-day pause. Another 60-day pause. There was never a pause. Nobody's agreeing to anything from Iran. This is the memorandum of understanding was actually written by Iran, and the US had to take the deal, and then the US broke the deal and told ships to pass because I'm Trump, I'm America, I can decide. And so Iran bombed the ships. Told you not to pass without telling us. It's our Strait of Hormuz. Who is America try to dictate who can let any ship in and out and what you can? Bro, it's like somebody coming to your house and be like, hey, who's this person? No, they can't come in your house. Why did you buy that orange? No orange is allowed. Who are you? Get out, get away, take care of your own house. It's like your house is burning and you're coming telling me about my house. America's burning. And all our energy is everywhere else, not us, the people, the government. It's a sinking ship, man. The empire is collapsing in front of our own eyes. And if you're in denial, then I pray for you.
Looks like the IRGC will maintain control, which means more repression on the people themselves, more executions, more torture, more arrest, and also it has implications for the church as well. The more Christian leaders being arrested, and despite that, the reports we have is that the gospel continues to go forward inside Iran.
Where is this proof of the churches being oppressed and the clergymen? Where is that? Last time I checked, the Christians in Iran and the Jays were part of the funeral. They had a funeral at the synagogues and the churches. So does that mean they supported or not support the leader? Oh, they're forced to. No, they're not forced to. They decided to do that. We don't know the truth. You don't know the truth. Did you go to Iran? Have you met real Iranians, not these Jays that say, I'm Persian. I'm Persian. With the roaring lion, which is Satan on the flag. Yeah, they keep lying. That's all these people do. And the government lies, and these people just regurgitate.
Pastors are visiting churches around the country, signs and wonders, still people coming to faith through dreams and visions. So it's an important time to be praying for the church and for all the people of Iran.
Good. Yeah, you should be praying for all the people of Iran. And every time there's something like this happen, they're like, oh, people having visions and dreams. Well, they don't have proof. I pray they are. But that's not how you bring people to Jesus Christ. You don't bomb them. That's not how you do it. That's the gospel of war. You don't bomb them because of an antichrist state. That's not how you bring the gospel. Instead of them supporting the churches in Iran, They're supporting the Antichrist state of Israel to bomb those churches in Iran. I guarantee you those churches survived thousands of years in Iran. And Israel will bomb them, just like happened in Gaza. So the churches in Gaza survived under Hamas, under everybody that went in and out. But who destroyed them? Israel. Fantastic.
Do you see an alliance forming Iran, Turkey, which is of biblical proportions?
There we go. Biblical proportion. Now, Turkey is part of the Bible prophecies. They keep adding countries and shuffling things around and changing dates. And these people are demonic. Try to guess how the end is going to happen and how it's going to be fulfilled and this and that. And they don't understand that America is Babylon and this is the belly of the beast. They're sitting in the belly of the beast and they have no clue. They're supporting the Antichrist state of Israel and they have no clue. And they're saying Iran, Turkey, Libya, Egypt, Russia, China. They're just idiots. Useful idiots or useless.
Do you see that coming into play?
It seems like those puzzle pieces are coming into place with Turkey, Iran, maybe Russia as well. So if you're reading the Bible and reading Ezekiel, you can see perhaps things coming into place.
Oh my God. I'm so sick of these people, man. Read Ezekiel. Read Revelation. This is the beast. This is Gog. This is Magog. This is... Where's Jesus and all that? What are you doing to further the kingdom of God? Are you making disciples? Are you loving your neighbor? Obviously, he's not. What are you doing? They're not doing that. They're like, prophecies are getting fulfilled according to what we believe. All Israel will be saved. And they feel like the word Israel in the Bible pertains to the synagogue of Satan, Antichrist state of Israel, that all of it will be saved, including the Muslims. Like magically. When it says all Israel will be saved, it means the body of Christ. The followers of Jesus Christ. That's what it means. Spiritual Israel. God does not care about earthly stuff. He's not a real estate agent. And he's definitely not a racist. And not a foreskin dealer.
All right. Well, Chris, thanks for the insight. For you at home, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Praying for the peace of Jerusalem was something in the scripture right before it was destroyed. Because Jesus knew that they're going to crucify him. So he says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, even though he knew the wrath of God is coming in 70 AD. That's when he said, pray for Jerusalem. Context, timeline is important. The Bible is not to us, it's for us. It was to the people at that time, but it's for us that we can find Christ in it. So when you understand that the Bible and the gospel was to the people at that time, you will see how many things were fulfilled already then. But it's for us, not to us. It's for us because we can look and we can find ourselves in the Bible and be like, wow, I am the sinner. Oh, I am the rebellious. Oh, I am the one who did this. I am King David. I am this. I am that. And I do need God. I do need God. I need to repent. That's what the Bible is. The Bible is the story of Jesus Christ. Nothing more, nothing less. That came to save your life.
Pray for the peace of the Middle East. These are historic days and turning point days. And pray for special wisdom in our State Department and in our administration and in Congress, that we would know exactly what to do and be led in our steps. And for Christians around the world, Now is the time to bring in the harvest. And we need to realize the days we live in.
The harvest to send money to Israel.
Night comes when no one can work, is the prediction. So while we still can, let's redouble our efforts to bring in this harvest. Well, in other news, Democratic Party leaders are now pressuring a controversial candidate in the midterm elections and pressuring him to step down. John Jessup has that story and more from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That's right, Gordon. A Senate seat seen as a toss-up in the state of Maine is at stake in the race. Democratic nominee Graham Plattner, who's made a strong challenge to longtime Republican Senator Susan Collins, has been dogged by controversy. Party leaders had stood by him, but after new accusations of sexual assault by a former girlfriend, a growing number are demanding he drop out, including California Congressman Ro Khanna and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
All of a sudden.
Plattner denies the allegation, as well as previous claims of abusive behavior by another former girlfriend. If Plattner does not leave the race by Monday, his name will remain on the ballot. Well, the U.S. men's soccer team's bid to...
Well, I don't know much about what happened in Maine. Who's that? But if they try to say that he did something wrong, he probably was against Israel.
Win the 2026 World Cup ended last night. Belgium...
Oh, they got their booty handed to them. The U.S. team was terrible. And they cheated, and Trump, FIFA's rigged, guys. You saw what happened to Egypt. You know they want Argentina to win because, you know, who runs Argentina? Yeah, Egypt got robbed. And the U.S. team sucks!
Winning 4-1. The American team scored its only...
I want Norway to win.
Only goal on a free kick in the first half. The match was surrounded in controversy after President Trump said he personally called the head of FIFA over the one-game suspension of a U.S. player.
Look at that demon all the way to the left. Who's that? Who's that on the left? She looks scary. Yeah, Trump called FIFA. He's like, yeah, take off that red card. Ruined FIFA. And then America lost. Congratulations.
FIFA lifted the red card ban.
Look at this guy. You want to tell me that this guy does not belong to the 13th tribe? Come on, man. Come on, guys.
But said the president's call had nothing to do with it. The loss means the three host countries, the United States, Mexico, and Canada, are all out of the tournament.
Fantastic.
10 teams remain as the round of 16 continues. The championship match will be held July 19th in New Jersey. And Gordon, I was watching last night, a tough win. A tough loss, actually.
A tough win. A tough loss. By the way, Morocco's playing France, and all referees are Argentinian. 5 of them. Fantastic.
It was a tough one. My wife was literally getting up off the couch, yelling at the players and yelling at the screen. So it was a heartbreak. At the same time, I think the World Cup has made soccer fans. I never thought I'd see America turn into soccer crazy land, but here we are. And I had no idea Country Roads was the national anthem. But it's being sung around the world. And the great thing is the world is seeing Americans and coming away with, wow, I didn't know you guys were like this. And
what?
You know, the newspaper headlines that they've been reading is not the reality on the ground. And that's so true around the world. When you get to meet people, you understand, well, they're people too. And they...
Except for the Palestinians. They're Hamas.
Want the same things, they have the same aspirations. And it's wonderful to see people get together over a contest. I mean, it was an obviously spirited contest. I think Belgium said we're trying to prove something, and they came out ready for action. And they certainly proved it last night on the field.
Yeah, and then they mocked Donald Trump and did the dance.
But I think the larger story, and it's a much larger story, is when the world gets together and celebrates together, we can all understand we're still all people. And that's a wonderful thing.
Yep. and make sure you support Israel because they are God's chosen people and they're more important than anybody else in the world. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'll open up the floor for some audience participation. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Let me see. Somebody. Let me see. Let me come right back, guys. All right. I guess the guy came a little bit earlier. He said 2, but it's 1. So he caught me by surprise. Yeah, pest control today. All right. So let's see what we got here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry for the random escape. All right. Let's see. Hey, Barbara, how's it going? It's been a while. Josie, can you please make me a mod on this channel? I'm on your other 2 channels, just not this one. Sure. Let me do that right now real quick, guys. One second, if I can find you. Oh man, I gotta find one comment. All right, you should have it. Make sure you check and find out if that worked. Okay. Yeah, let me know if it worked out. All right. We also have Alice in Hollywood. Thank you so much for your contribution. May the Lord keep on blessing you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Polyfest, what's going on? Did I miss something? Those 2 talking heads haven't said Jesus' name once. Yeah. They're talking about the next war with Turkey because of the the Muslim Brotherhood. Yeah, that's their boogeyman now. And thank you so much, DCJ Way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. I think these are all of them. Let me see if there's any other questions. I know you guys were not expecting me to go live, but I did. So hopefully you guys were able to tune in. I see a lot of people were able to. So that's good. Maybe I should start doing more things around noon. What do you guys think? I can do one at noon and one at 6 p.m. I'm on Eastern time, by the way. Thank you so much, Canadian Greek me. All those Zionist Christians make me feel sad. Can't wait for Jesus to return. I look forward to that. Yeah, it's sad, it's insane, it's diabolic, it's oxymoron, yeah, they're just looking for the end of times, but for the wrong reason, because they believe the rapture is coming and God is going to take them before the tribulation and they're going to be put on another planet. And then all Israel will be saved. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I pray for these people, but it's just like I don't see no hope with the boomers. I don't know. It's very, very hard. You know, it's very, very hard. They sold Jesus, man. They sold him for Israel. 30 pieces of shekels. Thank you so much for the love gift, Lori Marie. I really, really appreciate it. May the Lord bless you and protect you. Thank you so much for the contribution. Guys, also make sure you check out the merch on the oliverootspodcast.com. And I also have the bracelets. You buy one, you get one for free. So make sure you guys check those out as well. But yeah, thank you, Lori. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I was not expecting that many people to log on today. I was like, yeah, probably be like 10 people. Everybody's busy. It's around 1 p.m., noon. But I guess you guys are out here. And I also do a live today later on at 6. And we'll talk about your favorite person, Malkowski, Netanyahu. Make sure you guys hit the like button so you can boost the algorithm on this so more people can watch it once it's posted. And subscribe if you have not. Join the Discord, support your boy on YouTube, buy me a coffee Patreon. Watch my film, The Colonizer, on thecolonizerfilm.com. It's available on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. And check out the merch on the oliverootspodcast.com. Let me take a look at more comments and see. We got another comment. Not all boomers believe this BS. Yeah, I agree. Not all of them. I mean, I met a lot of people that started questioning these things, but it seems like the biggest ones that are falling for this or have been falling for the Judeo-Christian oxymoron were the boomers. But yeah, I agree, DC J-Way. Not all boomers. Praise the Lord, right? But thank you so much for the contribution. Let's see if there's more stuff. I'm just going over the comments. I mean, you can tell that Israel is getting ready for the next war with Turkey. So they try to wrap up this Iran thing, but it took them longer because Iran is powerful. They thought it was like a weekend job, and then they assassinated the leader, and that just made Iran even more mad. And we haven't seen the one in charge now. So, and then now they're threatening Malkowski and Trump by assassinating them. So Trump changed planes the other day. Malkowski canceled the trip. Yeah, I don't think they knew what they're signing up to by going to war with Iran. They thought it's just going to be like Venezuela, go grab Maduro in the end. And pray for Venezuela, guys. People are still suffering from the earthquake, and there's a lot of child sex trafficking happening. And Israel sent ITF soldiers as a delegate there to help the Venezuelan people. So pray for Venezuela because it's getting infiltrated. Let's see. But it's interesting, because Turkey is part of NATO. So if Israel goes to war with Turkey, America is supposed to support Turkey. So maybe the US will go out of NATO. So when Israel goes to war with Turkey, then the US is not part of NATO. Now the US can join Israel and use Greece and Cyprus as attacking points. Yeah, they're planning, man. They're always planning something. Said the same thing, Noah. America will leave NATO and attack Turkey. Yep, that's what I think. 100%. Thank you all for the super gifts and the likes. I really appreciate it. Anybody else before I go? I'm just looking. I'm looking. All right. I guess this is a good place to end this. Hopefully you enjoyed this, learned about CBN, all these Zionist companies that they run here and in Israel, and how they're right on brand with the war with Turkey. But that's what I wanted to share with you. Make sure you tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be sharing an interview that Malkowski had on CNN, and I will be dissecting it, commentating, and proving all the BS and the lies of the Antichrist of a man. Until next time, Christ is King, and always free Palestine.